Your book is called The Problem with Immigrants, which I love that title because it makes me want to know more. And this is honestly a great time to have you on because, again, back to the media, it's been of late the flavor of the week to talk about immigrants. And it's actually been funny for me to watch this media cycle because it's been kind of up and down. And I don't know if we're going to be talking about the same immigration issues as far as Syria in the next 3 months. I'm an immigrant in this country. Your parents were immigrants. Neither of us look or sound British per se. You sound British. And I think there's something beautiful about what I call the immigrant mind. I think when you come to a country you don't belong at, you have no plan B. You're willing to do things you wouldn't normally do. You're willing to take jobs you wouldn't do to make things happen. And I actually love being an immigrant in this country. It can be very empowering. But at the same time, we see recently what's happening where hundreds of thousands of people are coming from Syria. They're trying to go to Germany via Hungary. They're trying to come here. London's one of the biggest melting pots in the world, I think, as far as a city, and where it's okay to not be British in this city. Whereas I find New York City, the cab driver from Nigeria is American, and yet here the cab driver from Nigeria is Nigerian, and I find that very refreshing about this city. But can you tell me what your immigrant experience is like, or of your parents, and why write the book?
Well, like most people concerned with social science, and I think that is my primary interest, you look around and you see and you hear and you take stock and you respond, or not as the case may be, to movement and change and so on. And before Europe was engulfed in what is a refugee crisis, the precursor to that was, as they saw it, or most people saw it, and certainly the British media did, a migration crisis. Refugees and migrants are two different things. And it was extraordinary that there seemed to be some confusion in Europe amongst heads of government as to what the difference was, because they were talking about migrants when really the issue was one that related to refugees. They've now got the narrative right, and there's been in international law a long-established definition about what a refugee is, and it's one of many different things, but typically it's somebody that's fleeing persecution, religious, sexual, and so on. It could be somebody fleeing a war zone. The things that make us who we are how we respond to people in need. And the refugee crisis in reality is a very, very tiny issue being magnified by hysteria in the media and television screens. Many millions of people migrated, and many were refugees during and after the Second World War.
In this country?
Yes, well, all over the world.
Yeah.
Why is it that there are more people in the United States of America called McDonald than there are in Scotland? It is because they migrated. Why is it that not enough people know that in 1752 there were 2,000 Africans in London alone? Why is it that people do not know that Catherine of Aragon was served loyally for 27 years by a black lady as Lady of the Bedchamber. Why is it that people do not know that Queen Elizabeth I was so concerned about the number of immigrants in Britain that she sent a telegram to the Lord Mayor of London about it? Why is it that not enough people know about Britain's migration story? And that is one of the reasons why I decided to write the book, because people talk about immigration and migration as though it's a new thing. For goodness sake, where did we, the British, get the idea of empire from? We stole it from the Romans. We have much to be grateful to the Romans for. They were here and they left us with roads. They connected bridges that led somewhere. Art, wine, food. The whole thing about the migration story is that everybody must surely now know, or they damn well ought to know, that everybody is an immigrant. Everybody is. It's just a question of how far back in time you go.
To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonrealacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media, log in and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonrealacademy.com. So click on the link below, you'll be directed there and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.